Hey everybody, welcome to episode 5, I believe, of Throwback Thursday on a Friday. Throwback Friday. Um, yeah, I didn't upload one yesterday because I forgot. And with the holidays going on and everything, it's kind of slipped my mind. And I do some preparation for these things, so I needed a little more time, so I'm doing it today. I didn't even know which album I was going to do. So I decided to do something by Nirvana, which is one of my favorite bands of all time. Um, as a youth, I worshiped this band, and I still kind of do. Not like I used to, but not in the same way at least. But I love this band very much, and figured why not do an album by them? So that's what I'm going to do. I chose Incesticide. Now, some of you who know Nirvana might be like, hey, wait a minute, that's not an actual album. And you would be right. It is a compilation album. But hey, how many reviews of Nevermind are there? How many reviews of In Utero are there? I wanted to do something different, and I'm sure there's plenty of Incesticide reviews too, but oh well, probably not as many as the other two, or even Bleach. So what I want to do is Incesticide. So here we go. It's released on December 14th, 1992. It's a compilation of B-sides, demos, outtakes, covers, recordings from radio shows, and two songs from a single they released in 1990 called Sliver. So they used the songs from that too, and they made this compilation album. Now this was put out due to the massive success of Nevermind, which was kind of a cultural phenomenon, and they wanted to take some of their old shit, not Nirvana, the record company. Nirvana didn't really care about that stuff. Wanted to take a bunch of their old stuff that wasn't really released and put them on something to make more money. And Kurt Cobain, agreed to do this, to let them do this, as long as he had full artistic control over the artwork on the album, and he did, and some really weird shit. I looked for my I have a copy of it, an original copy of it on CD, the one I got in December of 1992 for Christmas, but I can't find it. It's around here somewhere. I do have some visual aids for some more of this video, but I can't find it, and it pisses me off. It's a lot of weird. Like I normally do, I'll use the cover of the album as a thumbnail for this video, but really weird cover that has a rubber ducky on the back that belonged to Cobain, and he's always a very strange. He's always done art, and it's always been very strange. And if you see the cover of this album, you see the kind of art he really did. Sorry, I'm trying to get comfortable in my chair. And yeah, so he had artistic control of the album. He also had control of the liner notes. And what he did in the liner notes was basically tell... I really wish I could have found my CD so I could read it word for word. But he says something like, any people who don't like homosexuals, people of color, women, anything like that, don't come to our shows and don't buy our albums and all that other stuff. It's a pretty cool thing for him to do, considering how big they were at the time, and you know how many fans they could have lost from that at the time. But you know, like I said, Nirvana was never about that. So yeah, they had those liner notes up until about 98, and then the reprints of the album stopped having that in there. So my copy has that in there, and I wish I could find it, but I'll continue looking for. Um, yeah, all these songs, some of the songs are previously unreleased, and a bunch of the other ones were released in different formats on, like I said, compilations and B-sides of other songs. And that's the thing back then. You couldn't just go on the internet and find these songs and download them. You had to go out and find these compilations, find these B-sides, the singles where these B-sides are on. You had to find them, and it was not easy. And I actually got a bunch of them. I have some of them to show it, like these record companies. There's a record company called Sub Pop in Seattle, and they're still around, I think. But then they were just this little, what do you call it, independent record company. And a lot of these Seattle bands that were coming up at the time that's where they signed because they had nowhere else to sign. And Nirvana was one of these bands. And here, they put out compilations like this. It's actually a really hard CD to find. Sub Pop 200 from Sub Pop Records. And their song Spank Through is on it. I don't know if you can see that on there. Nirvana, Spank Through. And see, there's a lot of other really cool bands that were not popular at the time. Well, most of them still aren't popular, but like Soundgarden, stuff like that, they made a career. This is the only place you could get songs like this. Compilations like Sub Pop 200. You got singles like the Smells Like Teen Spirit single, which I have. These are all from the early 90s. See, had Even in His Youth on it, and the original version of Aneurysm. Even in His Youth eventually was released on the box set, but we didn't have a box set at the time with all these damn songs on it. So, being the Nirvana aficionado I needed it. I needed all of it. See, got like the All Apologies. This is actually an import from England. Got the Lithium single. You know, song Curmudgeon on it, which is actually my favorite. One of my favorite songs they ever did. So, yeah, and Frances Bean Cobain, his daughter, has her ultrasound in it. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, so and this had the lyrics to Nevermind, because everyone complained about they couldn't understand the lyrics on the album, so they released this. It has all the lyrics to every song on Nevermind. So, yeah, I got a bunch of these, and here's Beavis and Butthead Experience. They were popular at the time. The song I Hate Myself and Want to Die is on it. Yeah. That title doesn't seem so cool anymore. After what happened. But, yeah, I'm getting a little off track here. But this is the only place you can get these songs. If you wanted songs that weren't on the actual albums, you had to search for these things. Independent record stores. My mother actually worked at a record store for a while when I was a kid, and she was how I got a lot of these things. So I was lucky. But I'm glad I still have these. But let's get to the album, okay? Yeah, I told you about the artwork, all that stuff. And a lot of the songs on the album had been heard before. Fans would find these songs and circulate them around. But they released this album, they were all higher quality, and a lot of the songs were actually unreleased at all at the time. And it was released, like I said, December 14th, 1992. Went to number 34 on the Billboard 200, which is pretty high for a compilation album. It wasn't even a new album, it was a compilation. So, that was pretty awesome. And I had the cover painted by Kurt Cobain. And there's actually, because of how far back some of these songs go, this was released in 92, and some of these songs go as far back as when Nirvana was formed, which was 1987. So, there's 4 drummers. These aren't all Dave Grohl. There's Chad Channing. There is Dan Peters. I think played on one song on the album. Dale Crover, who you might know from the Melvins. If you're cool like me and you know the Melvins, you know what Dale Grover is. And if you don't know the Melvins, go listen to the Melvins because they're fucking awesome. And Dave Grohl, of course. So there's 4 different drummers on this album. So yeah, told you about the liner notes and everything. Let's get to the album. Compilation Nirvana album. Their next release after Nevermind, the success of Nevermind. Alright, number 1, first track, Dive, which was one of the songs from the Sliver single from 1990 I mentioned. It was originally released on a compilation, like kind of like the one that I showed you, called The Grunge Years on 91. When grunge became a huge thing in 1991, that's when, yeah, wasn't before that because no one called this stuff grunge before it got popular. And I mean the bands didn't call it grunge either. Still don't call it grunge. But yeah, it was released on a compilation called The Grunge Years, and it has some really strange lyrics in it. Something about a lot of these songs, the lyrics are very strange, which is pretty normal for Kurt Cobain. But a lot of these are really, really strange, and he would kind of revisit that on Utero, which was their next studio album after that. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Cobain's strange lyrics. I love him as a songwriter. And the chorus for the song is Dive in Me over and over again. They played the song a bunch live at the time. It's a really good song, really good bass intro. Great Nirvana song. Sliver, number 2, which was obviously the other song on the Sliver single from 1990. And when this album was released, they re-released it as a single and did a video for it, featuring Kurt Cobain's really young daughter at the time, infant daughter, Frances Bean. Like, they moved her around, make her look like she was dancing and stuff. I remember seeing this video a lot. The lyrics are kind of childish. It seems to be about a kid who goes and visits his grandmother, and his grandmother's watching him, and he doesn't like it, and he wants to go home, and he wants his mother to take him home. That's what the chorus is, Mama, take me home. So, great song. Love it. It's another great bass line. It's one thing I gotta say. Chris Novoselic doesn't get enough credit. No, he's not like an amazing, flashy bass player, but he comes up with some really cool bass lines. Man, just want to throw that out there. He doesn't get enough credit. Alright, Stain, number 3. There's not a whole lot to say about the song. It's about Kurt Cobain's image as a hermit, a brooding hermit. That's what it's about. He's saying, I'm a stain over and over again. I don't know. He's one of those people like Dylan, it's hard to know exactly what he's talking about. Yes, I just compared Kurt Cobain to Bob Dylan. And I'll do it again. Okay. Been a Son, number 4. It's about a father who wanted a son but got a daughter. So he's saying, you should have been a son. And I guess he based this on his father, who didn't really want his daughter, Kurt's sister, because he wanted another boy. And I mean, it's pretty fucked up. But yeah, some people are like that. And that song was previously unreleased. And I forgot to say, Stain was on an EP they released called Blue. And Blue was the first song off their first album, Bleach. Okay. Number 5, Turnaround. It's a Devo cover. You might know the song Whip It by Devo. This is one of their songs. Devo is a great, great band who doesn't get enough recognition. Turnaround was the B-side of their song Whip It. So, Whip It. It's a Devo song. It's awesome. Alright. Devo version's really good too. Alright. Turnaround. Number 5. Oh no, I just did that. Molly's Lips. Number 6. This is one of the next 2 songs. This and Son of a Gun are both covers of a band called the Vaselines from Ireland. Now, if you listen to this band, you wouldn't think a band like Nirvana would be into them. But the thing about Kurt Cobain you have to know is he's really into the art of pop music. Now, when I say pop music, I don't mean like pop music like now, like all the bullshit you hear on the radio. But like back in the day, pop music was just popular music. That's what it's short for. So he was into bands like the Beatles and just, the art of crafting a catchy song. He did this. Listen to About a Girl, you can really, on the first album, Bleach, you can tell his love for bands like the Beatles and the bands like the Vaselines, and they did the songs Molly's Lips and Son of a Gun, which are great songs. But if you listen to the originals, they're very different. There's a lot of pop influence on the Vaseline's versions and Nirvana's versions. Nirvana was heavily influenced by punk. Throw some punk into these covers, but they're great. The chord changes are great. It's not a lot of them. They're really easy to play, but it's just really catchy. Really, really good songs. And if I'm sure you've heard Nirvana Unplugged. They do a song called Jesus Doesn't Want Me for a Sunbeam on that, which is another Vaseline song. So they've done 3 Vaseline songs. They really like the Vaselines. Alright, New Wave Polly. 6 and 7 were the Vaseline songs. Number 8 is New Wave Polly, which is a song. I'm probably never going to... This song is another version of a song that's on Nevermind called Polly. I'm probably never going to do review of Nevermind because it's been done to death, as much as I do love that album. So I'll tell you what Polly is about. It's about the newspaper article they read about a girl who'd been abducted and tortured and raped, and she escaped. And that's what the song is about. And this is actually the last recorded version of the song. It's the version on Nevermind is acoustic and it's slow. It's really good. It has some... Does it have some... Is that one have cello in it? I don't remember. But yeah, and very minimal drums or percussion in it. This one is a lot faster, more punk, more new wave. So, yeah, good stuff. Recorded at Maida Vale Studios. Oh yeah, and the Vaseline songs, sorry, I have it written down. They were released originally on the Hormoning EP, which I actually remember seeing in the store when I was younger and wanting it, but never ended up getting it. So, Hormoning. Okay. Gotta flip over my notes. It's hard for me to remember everything. I can remember a lot, but everything, no. New Wave Polly was number 8. Good song. Kind of a cover of their own song. Okay, Beeswax, number 9. This is where it starts getting really weird, lyric-wise. This is originally released on the Kill Rock Stars compilation. And it seems to be about genital mutilation. Going by the lyrics. They mentioned Pepe Le Pew in the lyrics. And there's lyrics like, I got my diddly spade, I got my penis spade, and I got my ding-a-ling spade. Spade. Like spade as in, what you do to a female cat. And, yeah, it's a bizarre song. And I love it. Nirvana's bizarre stuff is my favorite stuff by them. My favorite song by them of all time is Milk It off In Utero, and that song's just fucking weird. I love it. Beeswax, good song. Yeah. Downer is this first attempt at a political song. It's a really short song, a lot of lyrics for a really short song, and he's trying to do Black Flag in the song. Black Flag, the punk band led by Henry Rollins in the early 80s. Yeah, I don't think he really hits the mark trying to be Black Flag, but it's a great song. And for some reason, okay, when Nevermind was released and it was a huge success, they re-released Bleach, which was their first album. And for some reason, they stuck Downer on the re-release version. I don't know why. It's not originally on Bleach, but I think I have my copy. I like showing off my CDs. Yeah. Re-release of Bleach I got back in the day. And if you look, it's kind of scratched up. Downer is the last song on it. And that's not originally on it. The last song was originally Big Cheese. So, I don't know why they did it. It's a really good song, though. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Mexican Seafood, number 11. Originally released on the Teriyaki Asthma compilation. Weird name. Actually, it's kind of a cool name for a band. Teriyaki Asthma. Alright. Yeah, it's another really just kind of disturbing one. It seems to be about yeast infections and STDs. There's some line about vomiting cum and diarrhea. And something about a toilet full of cloudy pus. Some really disturbing, bizarre lyrics, but it's Kurt Cobain. Another song I love. I love this song. I know I talk about like it's disturbing and gross and stuff, but I love the song. Okay, number 12, Hairspray Queen. Probably my favorite song on the album, the compilation. It's one of the first Nirvana songs ever recorded. This is going back to 1987. And just, the lyrics are just kind of gibberish. But the people don't really know what it's about. They don't really know what it's about, but the vocals in it are just so fucking great. The thing about Kurt Cobain when he yells and screams, it's so guttural sounding, like it's coming from, I don't know where it's coming from, but I just fucking love when he screams. It's not the most musically pleasing scream you're ever gonna hear, but you can tell it's fucking real, man, and I love the way he screams. And the bass line, going back to Chris Novoselic, the bass line in this song is fucking great. I love it. Hairspray Queen, love the song. 13. Okay, starting with Hairspray Queen, the rest of the songs are previously unreleased at all. So 13, Aero Zeppelin. It's a song about trendy music. Now, Kurt Cobain has always been outspoken about he doesn't like trendy shit. That's why he was kind of weird about getting famous, because he felt like he was becoming this trendy shit. And about trendy bands like Aerosmith and Led Zeppelin. That's why it's called Aero Zeppelin. And yeah, that's what it's about. Unreleased song, really good song. Alright, 14, Big Long Now. Going by the lyrics, you really can't really tell what it's about. It seems to be about extraterrestrials, maybe. Good song. That's all I can really say about it. They couldn't come up with a title, so the drummer at the time, I have it written down, Chad Channing, said, "How about Big Long Now?" And he's like, okay. So the title means nothing. There's some Beatles songs like that too. Kind of reminds me when Ringo would name songs for John and Paul, like Tomorrow Never Knows and A Hard Day's Night, that don't mean anything. It's kind of like that. Alright, 15, last song, Aneurysm. This is widely regarded by a lot of people as one of the best Nirvana songs ever recorded. And it's a love song. It's about his ex-girlfriend. I think her name is, Toby Vale. I guess she was some sort of musician in the area at the time. And he's really just, it's just really a song trying to get her back. In Kurt Cobain style. Normally a song like this you wouldn't use to try to get someone back, but this is Kurt Cobain, and he does what he does. Yeah, it's originally released, like I showed you, the original version was released on the Smells Like Teen Spirit single. And it's a little different. This version's better, I think. I like the background vocals in this. And the lyrics are really good. What can I say? This is one that's actually played a lot live. Their live album from the Muddy Banks of the Wishkah. There's a version of that on that. Really good song. Really good song to close out the album with. So there you go. That's Incesticide by Nirvana. Compilation album, released 1992. It's great. It's a 9.5 out of 10 I would give it. I really would. I know it's not an actual album, it's a compilation, but fuck it. Anything by Nirvana is good. It's just one of those bands. So yeah, there we go. Sorry about getting this up a day late, but Throwback Thursday on Friday. That's how it is this week. Gonna try to get back on track next week. Not sure what I'm doing. I really gotta get on track with these. I like to be able to say which one I'm doing the week after, but I can't. I don't know. So next week, I'm gonna come up with 2 albums, and so I'll be able to tell you which one I'm gonna do the week after. All right. So that's my review of Incesticide. Go listen to it. It's great. It's Nirvana. What else is new? Have a great day.